Meanwhile, growing outrage back here at home over those reports that U.S. troops are not getting the voter assistance they need in the field. In Virginia alone, there was a 92% drop in absentee ballot requests by service members as of a couple of weeks ago. Texas Senator John Cornyn says this is unacceptable. It's a failure, he says, by Pentagon leaders to comply with a 2009 law that was supposed to make it easier for our soldiers to vote. Guy Benson is a radio talk show host and political editor of townhall.com. Hi, Guy.
Hey, how's it going, Allison?
It's going well. So Senator John Cornyn just wrote a letter to the Department of Defense expressing his serious concerns about this precipitous drop in requests of absentee ballots by our soldiers overseas. What do you think is going on here?
It's a very good question, and it's something that we need to find out quickly. As you said, in Virginia alone, we've seen a 92% drop in requests for absentee ballots. That number is over 50% in terms of the drop in major states like Florida and Ohio and Nevada. And so I think there's a lot of people on the political side of this scratching their heads. As you mentioned, Senator Cornyn and a group of other Republican senators have shot off a letter over to the defense secretary saying, hey, it's time for some explanations. And what they're really upset about, not necessarily, Allison, the raw numbers that people aren't requesting as many ballots out in the field, but rather a recent report that's come out from the Pentagon's Inspector General, which shows that this 2009 law, the Military and Overseas Voter Empowerment Act, again, that was just a few years ago that was passed, was supposed to make military voting much easier. And one of the requirements was that there were going to be on-base setups where military personnel were given a lot of assistance to make sure that they were enfranchised and able to vote. And what this report has shown is that at least half of military bases still lack that basic requirement of legal compliance. And I just don't think there's a single excuse for that.
So what is that? I mean, I guess the answer is we don't know yet, but is it just about belt tightening? Is it about bureaucracy that doesn't allow all of these offices? I mean, as you said, there's supposed to be 229, or at least investigators attempted to contact 229 of those voter assistance offices that you just talked about, and they were only able to get a hold of half of those. Only half seem to be open and functioning.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, I can understand maybe a little bit of a drop-off in terms of these ballot requests from our military men and women versus 2008. There was a little bit more excitement and hype surrounding that '08 election. But these guys and gals who are very brave and overseas defending our freedoms, they are no less deployed today than they were then. And I think that one thing that everyone from all across the political spectrum on both sides of the aisle should be able to agree upon is the people who are fighting on the front lines should have absolute, unquestioned access to the ballot in an attempt to vote for their commander-in-chief. I think this is a total no-brainer. And from a purely political perspective, of course, Allison, Republicans that I talk to are worried about this because the military tend to vote pretty overwhelmingly for Republicans. These are major states that are seeing downticks in participation or potential participation for the military. That could very much impact the November election.
Guy Benson, thanks so much for helping us look at these numbers.
Thanks, Allison.